مصطفى مدبولي معالي الوزراء والسفراء والمحافظين,
as well as Your Excellencies, ministers, representatives of international organizations and civic organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this important, unique day that we are celebrating a new step with regards to the development and urbanization of Egypt. Today we are celebrating the presidential initiative Housing for All Egyptians for medium income and low income citizens, which was launched by President Abdel al-Sisi, which is a great step with regards to the new country being developed. What we are seeing today are not new housing units, but an embodiment of the government's vision to provide a decent life for all Egyptians, which shows the collaboration and development between Egyptian institutions as well as other financial institutions like the World Bank. Not to take too much of your time, we begin straight away with our address by the attendees to light and show attention on the importance of this project.
Ms. May Abdel Hamid, Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund CEO, to give her opening speech. The floor is yours, ma'am. Good afternoon. I just need technical support in order to start my presentation. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, Your Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister, Engineer Kamel Al-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister, distinguished guests, excellencies, ministers, representatives of diplomatic missions in Egypt, we welcome you all in today's event, such an event that we are celebrating 10 years of the Housing for All Egyptians launching and our partnership with the World Bank Group for the last 10 years. This partnership indeed extends for more than 20 years. It started with different forms of funding as well as paving the way for the mortgage market, supporting of low-income individuals since the year 2014, when the new constitution was issued. New constitutional rights have been enacted, including decent housing, which including the support for the low and middle income individuals. And here comes our program and this initiative to provide decent housing for all. And His Excellency the Prime Minister was the first president of the fund after its establishment based on this constitution, in order to implement such promising programs, especially as we've been facing huge gaps, financial gaps, and huge demand on decent housing, especially from the side of the low-income brackets. We were keen to provide programs and housing units that are affordable and available for low and medium income individuals. Hence, we started planning in the new cities, providing services, the needed financing in order to implement such ambitious program. So very quickly I'll be stating some of the figures since it has been launched. It was called first the 100 million housing units. This till now we have implemented 1,072,000. We have finalized 790,000 housing units completed and 242,000 under construction, in addition to 40,000 housing units currently being offered. The lessons learned from previous projects in order to start using this kind of investment, we have implemented service projects, and we have succeeded to implement 14,570 service projects under the around these units: schools, hospitals, clubs, mosques, churches, etc. Of course, this attracted the citizens to move to the new cities where the majority of this program and this project is implemented. Most importantly, we were very keen to benefit the low and medium income brackets. The issue that was to provide affordable housing units that are in line with their income. So we've started by establishing a system to link application to the program for those who will get it for the first time, or those who are going to follow or be included in a mortgage scheme in order to provide continuous financing for the program. In the last years, we have 687,000 beneficiaries low income, and 667,000 beneficiaries from the middle income beneficiaries. We were very keen not to exclude any brackets, and we have been able to reach out not only to governmental employees but as well for private sector, as well as self-employed. For the government sector, 28%, private sector 48%, freelance or self-employed 24%, and we have succeeded to reach out to all these percentages through our collaborations with the banks and the Central Bank of Egypt. We have succeeded to make access to these housing units easy and facilitated so as to have equal gender distribution. 25% are female beneficiaries, and this of course goes beyond the ownership percentage of women to their housing units that never exceeded 5% in Egypt. This is one of the targets that we have been able to achieve. The program as well targets the age bracket from 21 to 51. The priority was for those who are married with dependents, reaching 57%, and for the singles 21%, married without dependents 15.3%, meaning that we've covered all the age brackets. The main mechanism that we have adopted, of course, the price and the cost for this unit was not easy to be paid by the targeted groups. That's why the state's interventions were very important and crucial. Along with our collaboration with the World Bank, we have different support and subsidy, and we give them the subsidy, housing unit subsidies ranges between 50 to 60% of the total unit price. We have different support and subsidy giving based on the interest of mortgage financing, which the Ministry of Finance is committed to pay since 2017. So different forms of subsidies have reaching around 50% of the cost of the unit, which enable the citizens to apply and win these units. And we reinvest what we get from these units. This kind of sustainable financing model allowed us to keep our successes, and this was one of the shortcomings in previous programs. Through our program, people can pay through the banks, and we have return on investment. We have a subsidy program that is very unique and different. We provide different financial support, and the lower the income, the more the subsidy is, and this of course has been recommended by different international institutions, and this is what we're going to hear from our colleagues. Till today, we have the banks. The banks are our vital partner. Under the directives of the central banks, we have reached 105 million Egyptian pounds for the mortgage market. At that time, it was less than 6 billion. The citizens that we dealt with and joined the program. It was the first time to work in partnership with the banks, and this was one of our targets, to achieve financial inclusion for low and medium income brackets. Of course, in reality, the percent that we is all around 70%, and the remaining amount is subsidized by the state. The entities that we work with, of course, are represented in this event, and we'd like to seize this opportunity to thank them for their efforts. And we are accelerating the implementation in the program based on their support and help and the different banking systems that we follow. 2 billion USDs, and as I said, when the mortgage market when we started was 6 billion, and this reflects the success. Of course, the program at the very beginning was not was not duly informed to the citizens. Not all the citizens were keen that they will be able to deal with the banks, and they were not fully aware of how to deal with the banks. Once we launched the program, the turnover was 19,000 citizens when we launched the program. Then we reached 1 million citizens in 2014, and in 2025 we have reached 2.5 million citizens. And this is due to the trust and confidence in the program and the good quality of housing units that we provide compared to low and medium and middle income housing units worldwide. And maybe this is because of the partnerships with the different ministries and our partners from institutions, international institutions. And as I mentioned, we have 2,410,000, and the increases, the figures are increasing, and God willing, we will proceed to meet the ambitions of the citizens. We are very keen that citizens should occupy these units, and the occupation percentage exceeds 94%, which is indeed a very good percent. Our major partners and ourselves, we are very keen to have sustainable finance. That's why we work with the central bank since the year 2014, Ministry of Finance in 2019, where we have moved the burden of the interest to the Ministry of Finance, 20 billion with the central bank. We have used it in 5 years, and 90 billion with the Ministry of Finance, and we are almost done with the spending. Of course, the size of the mortgage market increased from 7 billion to more than 1 billion today. The World Bank, of course, is a strategic partner in this initiative, started from the very beginning with 500,000 USD financing at the very beginning, and we receive extra funding based on the results. In 2020, the World Bank welcomed, giving us an additional 500,000, and we have indeed dispersed a huge percentage. And during this year, we will finalize the whole loan. Most importantly, we are very keen to achieve the social and economic impact that we have decided and set from the very beginning. The program empowered 42% of marginalized groups through making decent housing units accessible, and we have decreased the rent. As we speak about sustainability and development, of course, this was one of the main, and is still one of the main pillars of the program. We work with the housing financing. 222 billion Egyptian pounds have been spent on this program from the fund, in addition to the Ministry of Urban Communities by providing us the land plots. We have 915 construction company that we have worked with, and the workload was increasing regularly, and we have subcontractors in double numbers. And of course, the industry benefited from this, and 4 million job opportunities directly and indirectly were provided through the programs. We have doubled the governmental housing size. The ministry was targeting 2 million housing units, achieving 1.5 million 790 from the or 800,000 were supported by the fund, and we have been laid the foundation in new cities, more than 32 new cities, urban communities. We're now welcoming the new citizens, and of course the previous figures shows the difference with regard to figures and percentages. We are very much interested to have a positive discrimination for those who are not or cannot afford the housing units. We target, of course, the disabled, and with the help of the Ministry of Solidarity, we identify the segments of society that need increasing support, as well as the graduates of the orphanages. We do have different protocols, 155 of the different craftsmanship, different workers, and of course empowerment of more than 155,000 self-employed citizens. And of course the World Bank helps with us with the different certifications, the green building. The IFC today is, of course, a major partner among the World Bank group, and we are going to celebrate today the awarding the EDGE certification to our fund, so that any housing program is acknowledged for their green buildings. We are one of the first to be granted the EDGE Advance EDGE certification. These are examples of the certifications that we have been awarded from the Ministry of Housing, and this is EDGE certificate that we will be receiving today, and these are the cities where we are implementing green housing programs in, and of course this will be reflected in the comfort, the thermal comfort that the citizens will enjoy, along with the decreased utilities bills, and all this will be cascaded in other projects. We have been granted ISO certificates in the previous years. We are very keen to work on institutional development, and I'd like to seize this opportunity to thank my colleagues who are partners in this success to achieve the figures that I have mentioned. We have partnerships and protocols with 86 institutions, and of course financing entities, 31 institutions, cooperatives, different entities and different organizations. Of course, we have strategic partnerships with international institutions headed by the World Bank Group, and we seek to increase partnerships in the future, especially that we have green units that we are implementing currently, depending on mortgage and housing finance and local banks. We are going to issue as well green bonds in the next few years with the support of the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of International Cooperation. This will be the first green bonds in order to finance the Edge Advance Edge units. Thankfully, we have been commended by different entities, and we will leave the floor to our partners to give their feedback on this. And we have been awarded and recognized, and this is in our program is a flagship program in the World Bank in order to be as a good practice, especially that we've been working on a very huge scale. It is one of the biggest social housing programs worldwide. These are the field visits. We have worked with 28 countries, and we participate in different international events, and we have signed MOUs with different countries to cascade our experience to others. In the coming years, we will work more, seeking to provide more opportunities. We want to keep such good work and level of work and to even increase it. Meanwhile, we want to maintain the sustainability of the program, to improve its terms, and thankfully we have been commissioned with the alternative housing, and we seek to provide good units for the welfare of our Egyptian citizens. I thank you very much, and I give the floor back to the MC.
I would like to thank Mrs. May Abdel Hamid, the Chief Executive Officer of the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund, for her comprehensive remarks. Now I would like to invite you to watch a video featuring the testimonials from the beneficiaries of the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund. The video has subtitles.
يقدر ينسى الافلام والمسلسلات اللي اتكلمت عن الاسكان ومشاكله في مصر، ولا المشاهد اللي شفنا فيها المقابر بقت وحدات سكنيه لاسر كامله. ازمه سكن كبيره خلت الحصول على شقه حلم صعب تحقيقه، ازمه كان لازم نواجهها لان اهلنا يستحقوا يكون ليهم سكن ملائم. الاربع حيطان ما كانش ينفع يفضل حلم، كان لازم يتحول لحق، وده كان ايمان الجمهوريه الجديده، ودي كانت توجيهات فخامه الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهوريه.
ما ينفعش يتقدم طلب اسكان اجتماعي يا دكتور مصطفى ونقدم للناس مش وعود، لا نبني.
هنا جه دور صندوق الاسكان الاجتماعي ودعم التمويل العقاري اللي اشتغل من 2014 لتحقيق الحلم ده، بناء وحدات سكنيه ملائمه باسعار مناسبه وبدعم كبير يوصل لاكثر من 50% من ثمن الشقه، ونظام تمويل عقاري ما حصلش قبل كده، وخدمات ومساحات خضراء كانت غايبه عن مناطقنا. ولو قارنا ما بين الماضي والحاضر اكيد هنعرف الفرق.
احنا هنا في منطقه عين شمس. منطقة عين شمس منطقة قديمة من الثمانينات، في خدمات بس خدمات مش منظمة، خدمات عشوائية، والعماير هنا كلها مواثقة لبعض، مفيش متنفس لأي حاجة خالص هنا. بتلاقي الخدمات بشكل عشوائي، ورش جنب محلات جنب مطاعم مش منفصلة، الشوارع ضيقة، مفيش ركنات، مفيش مساحات خضراء، مفيش اي متنفس ان الاولاد تطلع وتبقى امن عليها. غير المدن الجديد، هو في 2016 نزلت اعلانات على جميع مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي وعلى التلفزيون، نزلنا قدمنا ودفعنا المقدم ساعتها كان 9000 جنيه، وبعد كده استكملنا الاقساط كانت 4000 جنيه كل 3 شهور على مدة سنة، وبعد كده سنة كمان واستلمنا بقى استلمنا الشقة. في فرق طبعا في المساحات، إذا كانت الشوارع، إذا كانت المساحات البينية بين العماير، إذا كانت المساحات الخضراء في المنطقة الأولاد يقدروا ينزلوا، إذا كان بقى مركز شباب، إذا كانت مدارس، إذا كانت ملاعب رياضية، إذا كانت مواصلات. كل ده هو المدينة بتقدمه، الجهاز موفره، وكل سنة الخدمات بتحسن عن اللي قبلها.
ما كانش ينفع الوضع ده يستمر ونقول هنعمل ايه يعني، لان اولادنا من الاطفال والشباب يستحقوا حياة افضل، وده بالظبط اللي حصل.
بتكلم على 300,000 أسرة كانت قاعدة في الشارع في عشش صفيح أو مباني مؤقتة، وكانت مصر بتتعاير وبتتصور الأفلام في هذه الأماكن، وبيحصل فيها كل الجرائم الغير إنسانية اللي ممكن حضراتكم تتخيلوها. الحمد لله قدرنا نوفر للناس دي سكن في أماكن الحمد لله كلكم بتزوروها وعارفين شكلها بقى عامل ازاي النهارده.
نتكلم على الاسكان، فهنبدا طبعا باهم مشروع وهو مشروع سكن كل المصريين. الحقيقه مشروع سكن كل المصريين الدوله المصريه الحقيقه وفي ضوء توجيهات فخامه الرئيس يعني بتوليه اهتمام كبير جدا جدا، وحجم الانجاز اللي اتعمل من عام 2014 يعني حتى الان الحقيقه يعني حجم عمل كبير جدا وضخم.
أنا سمعت من الخدمة الاجتماعية من خلال السوشيال ميديا، يعني من خلال الدنيا الناس كلها طبعا، والشغل برضو كان ليه دور برضو. هو التقديم كان سهل جدا بصراحة، كان متاح جدا بالذات في كل البريد المصري. بالنسبة للسعر صراحة كان حلو جدا في الوقت. التقديم كان مناسب جدا، ودوت صراحة اللي أنقذنا، يعني اللي ساعدنا جدا إن احنا نعرف يعني نتخلص من المشكلة الأساسية ديت. أما امتلكت البيت حسيت بأمان جامد جدا. أولا أمان من الدنيا، خلاص بقى عندك استقرار، مش هتتنقل بقى كل شوية من مكان لمكان وعفش يتكسر وحاجات زي كده. أمان خلاص بقى اللي أنت بتسير حياتك ووضعك خلاص وولادك خلاص كله في استقرار.
خلال السنين دي قدرنا نطرح أكثر من 1,000,000 وحدة سكنية في 21 إعلان، وده للمواطنين منخفض الدخل. مفيش دليل على نجاح المبادرة الرئاسية سكن لكل المصريين أوضح من الإقبال اللي بنشوفه كل ما ينزل إعلان جديد. نجاح كان له شركاء ما ينفعش ننسى دورهم، زي البنك الدولي مثلا اللي دوره ما كانش بس في تقديم قروض للبرنامج بشروط ميسرة، لا ده كان دوره أكبر من كده بكتير. البنك الدولي آمن بالفكرة زي ما احنا آمنا بيها، علشان كده ساعدنا كتير زي المساعدات المالية والمساعدات الفنية، وكمان ساعدنا في دراسة تجارب الإسكان الاجتماعي في دول تانية. وده ما كانش بس للإسكان الاجتماعي، لكن كان للإسكان الأخضر كمان. الإسكان الأخضر اللي قررنا نكون أول دولة في المنطقة تعمله للمواطنين منخفض الدخل.
احنا هنا بنتفقد العمل في أول عمارة من الإسكان الأخضر اللي احنا بنعمله في برنامج الإسكان الاجتماعي. طبعا نموذج الإسكان الأخضر ده جاي في إطار توجيهات القيادة السياسية إن احنا ننفذ وحدات سكنية صديقة للبيئة موفرة للطاقة. طبعا احنا النموذج ده نموذج تجريبي، لسه أول مجموعة هنا 1000 وحدة، وبعد مرور 3 سنين قدرنا لأول مرة نطرح وحدات مبادرة الإسكان الأخضر للمواطنين منخفض الدخل ضمن إعلان سكن لكل المصريين. ده كان إعلان رسمي عن توفير وحدات صديقة للبيئة للمواطنين منخفض الدخل لأول مرة في المنطقة. خلال ال3 سنوات أجرينا عدد من الدراسات بالتعاون مع مجموعة البنك الدولي والمركز القومي لبحوث الإسكان والبناء. طلقنا أول مسابقة لتصميم وحدات الإسكان الأخضر، وقدرنا نوصل لتصميم فائز يتم استخدامه في بناء الوحدات الحديثة بالمبادرة. قدرنا خلال 3 سنوات نعتمد 25,500 وحدة بنظام تصنيف الهرم الأخضر GPRS، وكمان اعتمدنا 14,600 وحدة بشهادة إدج أدفانس، ودي شهادة بتقدمها مؤسسة التمويل الدولية IFC، وبتساهم في خفض استهلاك الكهرباء والمياه بنسبة 40%.
من مصر إلى العالم، مبادرة الإسكان الاجتماعي الأخضر قصة نجاح جديدة بتؤكد إن السكن الاجتماعي ممكن يكون مستدام، وكمان ممكن يكون أخضر، ولسه قادرين نحلم لبكرة.
Now would like to give the floor to Mr. Sheikh Omar Sila, Regional Director of the International Finance Corporation IFC. Please, sir, have the floor.
Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madoubi, Prime Minister of Egypt, Deputy Prime Minister Kamel El-Wazir, Excellency Dr. Rania Al-Mashad, Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Excellency Engineer Sharif El-Sharbini, Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Development, Excellency Ahmed Kouchouk, Minister of Finance, Minister, Ambassador, Development Partner and esteemed guest. I'm honored to be with you today as we celebrate a remarkable chapter in Egypt's development journey. I really would like to begin by extending my heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Abdel Hamid, CEO of the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund, for a visionary leadership in championing this pioneering initiative, the first of its kind in Egypt and most probably in the continent. This commitment to innovate affordable and efficient housing solution is a pivotal step toward realizing Egypt's sustainable development vision. At the World Bank Group, advancing climate action and promoting green development is at the heart of our mission. We are proud, both IBRD and IFC, to stand with Egypt today as committed partners in this forward-thinking social housing program. Over the past years, IFC has collaborated with the private sector to accelerate climate initiatives and extend investment opportunities that drive decarbonization and climate resilience towards unlocking sustainable economic development in various sectors. Since 2016, we have invested more than $3 billion mobilized private sector capital in renewable energy, green financing for financial institutions. For example, our all action, enabled to have 1.8 million square meters are EDGE certificate, today at the end of December. We are proud to align this effort with Egypt's National Climate Strategy 2050. A critical driver of this vision is the growth of Egypt's green finance market. And here, IFC has privileged to play a pioneering role. We have participated to the issuance of several, green bonds, the development of the green market, to the sustainability bond as well. And we have invested more than $500 million on climate finance. Our comprehensive climate strategy also extends deeply into Egypt's key industrial sectors, where we have delivered advisory and investment service to improve energy efficiency in industries such as glass, steel, and support the adoption of low-carbon technology. In renewable energy, we have played a critical role in several flagship projects, not mentioned, starting from the Ben-Ban project to the other, adding this fiscal year around 1 gigawatt of solar and clean energy into Egypt. Complementing the World Bank Group P4 program for result for housing, IFC Egypt Green Building Project has supported the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund through expert training on EDGE certification, the sponsorship of Egypt's inaugural National Green Social Housing Design Competition in February 2024, and the successful certification of the winning design, an achievement we proudly celebrate today. Beyond all this, in partnership with the Housing and Building National Research Center and the government of Egypt, IFC is helping strengthen the green building ecosystem by promoting certification for both public and private. This initiative includes advancing policy reform for green construction, including the development of incentive schemes for green buildings, sharing insight on the economic advantage of certified building, strengthening public sector capacity for green buildings and health certification, and fostering the growth of the green building stock across Egypt. This in addition to supporting the certification of flagship projects, including the Grand Egyptian Museum and the newest Behaya Hospital, among others. I really would like, to emphasize that this accomplishment has been made possible through the collaboration of the valued development partners, including Switzerland State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, SECO, and the UK government, and stand as a testament to the government of Egypt's solid commitment to a green transition. Congratulations once again to the Social Housing Fund and the government of Egypt of the outstanding success in implementing a sustainable, impactful, and visionary green social housing program. Together, we are forging a path toward a greener, more prosperous, and resilient Egypt. I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. شكرا السيد وسيل المدير الإقليمي لمؤسسة التمويل الدولية لشمال أفريقيا والقرن الأفريقي IFC على كلمته. والآن مع كلمة السيد شريف حمدي مدير العمليات بالبنك الدولي، فليتفضل.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. دولة رئيس مجلس
May peace be upon all of you, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, Your Excellencies, ministers, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored on behalf of the World Bank to participate with you celebrating the 10 years of implementation. This leading national program that has helped promote and provide decent housing for all the Egyptians across Egypt. I would like to congratulate the government of Egypt, the Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Ministry of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, and the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund for the series of successes that they were able to achieve over 10 years, during which a long-term vision was established and a legal framework was developed in addition to the institutional and organizational framework towards achieving and implementing such a major program. Egypt was able to do this. Housing for All Egyptians initiative is supported by the World Bank. It has participated in cooperation with the Egyptian government towards supporting such an initiative by providing long-term finance and international knowledge and experience. The impact that was made is significant at all levels. The program was able to enhance the housing market, as it has increased from 130 million to 2 billion today. In addition to the participation of 31 financial institutions, as indicated by Mrs. May, from 4 financial institutions to 31 financial institutions. This reflects the efficiency of the public policies designed towards enhancing the investments of the private sector and enhancing the financing market in order to provide housing for the low and medium income households. The video that was played and the presentation that was made by Mrs. May are actually quite sufficient, but I would like to add that we were able to provide 660,000 households across Egypt with decent housing. They were able to receive the housing units, and most of these households own their houses for the first time. This actually directs the state towards directing the resources to the most need. Also, we were able to provide more than 4 million direct and indirect employment opportunities in construction, transport, and other sectors. This is a reflection of how we can support the economic system. And also the financial inclusion is reflected in this. We have 40% of the households are led by women, and this indicates the importance paid to the women. 56 of the households have borrowed money for the first time. Also, the young people below 40 years old represent about 50% of the beneficiaries of this program. Within this context and in a very important development, and when finishing the amendments made on the rent law recently, the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund was assigned a very important role to provide housing, decent housing units to different citizens that are affordable and decent. And this reflects the strategic approach of the fund. Also, the program has helped or contributed to the environmental sustainability in cooperation with IFC, including different national standards and edge standards. This achieves the energy efficiency as well as resources efficiency. Such an important achievement is not an end. It is just a station over a long trajectory towards providing housing that are climate resilient, and this would lead to urbanization. The World Bank reiterates its commitment to continue supporting the Egyptian government in overcoming any future challenge in order to build on what was already achieved through this inclusive housing finance program for results, in addition to providing support to the private sector and exchange international experience and enhance the institutional capacities in the coming years. Allow me once again to congratulate the Egyptian government, the Ministry of International Cooperation, Ministry of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund, and everyone who has participated in such an important program, Housing for All Egyptians. Thanks a lot, and may peace be upon all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharif Hamdi, Senior Operation Managers at the World Bank, for your remarks. Let us now watch a video featuring the World Bank Group and its partners.
Tool for wealth creation and financial sector development through mortgage markets. As a national priority, the Egyptian government launched Housing for All Egyptians, سكن لكل المصريين. It's an initiative that was launched in 2014 under the directives of His Excellency President Abdel al-Sisi to provide affordable housing for low and middle income citizens. This vision has fostered national efforts and partnerships to advance inclusive housing. Today, we proudly commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Inclusive Housing Finance Program, which was launched in 2015 with the World Bank Group, an important program that supports the translation of our national vision of housing for all Egyptians into tangible results. Between 2014 and 2025, the government of Egypt has allocated more than 200 billion Egyptian pounds in public investments to the Housing for All Egyptians initiatives. These national efforts have also been complemented by $1 billion from the World Bank, shifting the housing support to efficient demand-side mortgage finance. This program is built on a 20-year partnership with the World Bank, the largest active partner in Egypt's social housing sector, and is considered a flagship program alongside Takaful and Karama and Universal Health Insurance. The Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation is proud of this program's essential impact on social safety nets, providing decent housing to more than 4 million Egyptians, and particularly supporting youth and women by enhancing opportunities, financial inclusion, and narrowing the asset ownership gap.
Availing housing is considered a foundation to providing family stability and preserving citizen dignity. While the real estate development plays a significant role in enhancing economic growth and providing safe and sustainable housing, yet the dream of home ownership has remained out of reach for many middle and low-income citizens. The Housing for All Egyptians President Program, with the support of the World Bank Inclusive Housing Finance Program, has played an instrumental role in removing long-standing barriers that prevent individuals and households from accessing mortgage financing, mainly high interest rates, short loan tenures, and the difficulty of obtaining affordable financing, leading to the limited access to mortgage finance for many citizens. The Central Bank of Egypt is proud to be a partner in this impactful program, which has contributed to the social safety net package offered to the citizens of Egypt. The benefits of this program extend far beyond home ownership for beneficiaries to stimulating the construction sector, creating jobs, and empowering the financial sector, which in turn contributes to driving economic growth. The establishment of a dedicated asset management and risk-sharing framework by the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund is considered a key pillar of the program's success, as it has significantly reduced risks for financial institutions, enabling them to participate confidently in financing affordable mortgage under the Housing for All Egyptians presidential program, which achieved remarkable success, reflected in the exceptionally low default rate of less than 1%. Today, 23 banks are actively participating in providing affordable mortgages for low-income households, a dramatic expansion from just 4 banks in 2014, which fueled significant growth in the number of beneficiaries. The value of Egypt's mortgage market has surged from around $130 million in 2014 to over $2 billion as of June 25, representing an extraordinary increase of more than 15-fold. As we celebrate this milestone, let us renew our dedication to expanding access to dignified housing, fostering financial inclusion, and building a more prosperous future for all Egyptians.
Egypt's social housing program has been transformational cornerstone when it comes to financial inclusion. As the target segment of the mortgage initiatives were initially financially excluded, notably around 65% of the beneficiaries are first-time borrowers, many of whom are women and youth, which are the most vulnerable segment, marking a critical entry point into the formal financial system. In addition to the initiative's social impact, it has also demonstrated that by integrating underserved and marginalized segment into formal finance, the initiatives has created a new sustainable asset class for financial institutions, strengthened household resilience, and supported inclusive economic growth. At the Central Bank of Egypt, the financial inclusion is a strategic priority, and we are proud to have partnered in an initiative that advanced access to finance, allowing citizens to own homes while promoting financial literacy and responsible borrowing. In July 2025, the CBE, together with the Alliance of the Financial Inclusion and the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund, documented this experience through the case study on Egypt Affordable Housing Module, highlighting how inclusive finance can be a powerful drive of opportunity, equity, and resilience.
10 years ago, the government made the bold move to launch a social housing program to provide decent, formal access to housing to low-income families in Egypt. We've been very proud of the World Bank to support that journey through our partnership with the government through the Inclusive Finance Housing Program. This program is building the capacity of the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund and strengthening access to mortgage finance. By doing this, first, it provides access to housing to millions of low-income families. It is deepening the mortgage market, and it's creating jobs across the economy. This is very important in our partnership with the government and fully aligned with the country partnership framework. This also matters a lot for women inclusion in the economy by providing women access to home ownership and access to formal finance. And as we celebrate this partnership, we remain committed to continue that journey on a very important program that provides access to decent housing to low-income families.
The Social Housing Mortgage Finance Fund is leading a first-of-its-kind initiative in Egypt to advance affordable, efficient, and environmentally responsible housing. IFC, the private sector arm of the World Bank Group, is proud to support the Social Housing Mortgage Finance Fund with global expertise and local capacity building on hedge certification for green buildings, helping ensure that efficiency and sustainability are integrated into social housing at scale.
This milestone represents more than 14,000 housing units designed to deliver 40% energy savings, 43% water savings, and a significant reduction in embodied carbon. It's a powerful example of how sustainability can transform lives.
Good afternoon to all in New Cairo. My greetings from much colder Washington, D.C. today. I wish I could have been in person with all of you in Egypt, with so many people that I would dare calling them now friends, to celebrate this 10th anniversary milestone. I would like to convey my special gratitude and thanks to the government of Egypt for having the vision and implementing this ambitious program through the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund, so well managed by Dr. May for many years. This has been quite a long and journey also from our World Bank Group colleagues, worth celebrating today. Looking back at the past, I think it was a great decision to have created such a fund to enable low-income families success home ownership by combining a system of targeted upfront subsidies with a residential mortgage market, not that long after the new mortgage law was passed in Egypt. I also want to recognize there the great support received all along from the Egyptian financial regulatory authorities, and the results I think speak for themselves now. It has been a really great journey, but the road to affordable housing remains a long and arduous one, as experienced today by nearly all countries in the world, including even in Europe. And looking now at the future, I would like to encourage you continuing your efforts. Some were initiated through this World Bank P4R project, but probably have not reached yet their full potential. So that to combine private markets and public support on themes such as affordable housing, PPPs, residential rental solution, housing credit for undocumented income workers. Be assured the World Bank Group stands committed to pursue this great cooperation. Thank you so much.
Warm congratulations to the World Bank and the government of Egypt, and in particular SHMFF under the wonderful leadership of Ms. May Hamid to reach this great milestone. I want to highlight a few specific reasons why this Egypt project is, in my opinion, special compared to many other schemes that I've been involved with in the world. The first one is the willingness of the government to commit to the gradual implementation of a housing subsidy scheme that is transparent, equitable, and not market distorting. That has helped in involving the commercial banking sector to participate in the project with their own funds, which of course in turn allowed the project to reach a big scale. It also is important because it doesn't leave unexpected burdens to the government in future years. The second very important aspect that is often lacking in many other countries is the role that SHMFF could play in improving over time the regulatory, policy and legal environment in which the housing and mortgage sector operate. And in many countries you don't have such a unit that is comprehensive and can look at the different components of the housing market, from the mortgage sector to green standards to the rental law. And that is a very important advantage that Egypt has.
The Egypt Inclusive Housing Finance Project has reached hundreds of thousands of lower-income Egyptian families by mobilizing the private sector to build and finance affordable homes. It shows that inclusive housing finance can work at scale when public policy and private delivery come together. That success is now shaping how we design similar operations in other countries.
أتشرف بقيادة فريق العمل من جانب البنك الدولي المعني بتنفيذ برنامج الإسكان الاجتماعي والتمويل العقاري الشامل بقيمة $1 مليار. البرنامج أثمر عن نتائج إيجابية من منظور تنموي، منها ومن أهمها 680 ألف أسرة من محدودي الدخل قدروا يتملكوا سكن ملائم لأول مرة في حياتهم، 24% منهم من السيدات، 65% منهم يتعامل مع النظام المالي الرسمي لأول مرة. البرنامج بمحاوره المختلفة قدر انه يساهم في خلق 3,800,000 فرصة عمل.
The Inclusive Housing Finance Program contributed to greater youth inclusion with over 54% of beneficiaries under the age of 40. In addition, this innovative program offers rental solutions to low-income households who do not qualify for mortgages in partnership with local fintech startups.
التعاون مع الشركاء من الجانب الحكومي ومن القطاع الخاص تم إطلاق عدد كبير من المشروعات Certified Edge، من أهمها على الإطلاق المتحف المصري الكبير، مستشفى بهية التجمع الخامس، ومشروع الإسكان الاجتماعي الأخضر اللي كان نتيجة مسابقة أو إطلاق أول مسابقة وطنية لتصميم بناء اجتماعي أخضر، واللي حصل في التصميم الفائز على شهادة إدج الدولية. إن شاء الله يتم تطبيقه على عدد كبير من الوحدات السكنية تصل ل 14,000 وحدة سكنية.
And now I'd like to invite His Excellency Engineer Sharif Sherbini, Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities. The floor is yours, sir. In the name of Allah, good afternoon, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, Your Excellency, the Deputy of the Prime Minister, Kamel Al-Wazir, Excellencies, Governors, partners in development, nationally and internationally, our partners in the private sector, and the team who successively worked with us in this successful program. It gives me a great honor to welcome you today in such an important event as we celebrate 10 years of implementation and the different achievements of social housing and mortgage finance funding, such national entity that reflects on ground the commitment of the Egyptian state to provide affordable housing for each and every citizen under the directives of His Excellency the President. The housing portfolio is still one of the major portfolios important for the state, as it directly impacts the social stability of the citizens, being a main pillar in order to preserve the dignity of the Egyptian family in implementation of the Egyptian constitution. For many years, the housing sector faced accumulative challenges represented in the extensive gap between supply and demand on housing units, especially in the light of the population growth and the high cost of units, which hinders many of the Egyptian sectors and segments to have access to formal housing, along with the lack of affordable housing for the entities that require more care. And hence, housing comes at the top of the agenda of the Egyptian state as being a developmental and humanitarian issue. Springing from this, the state had to start working with the definite agenda and vision, and to deal with the housing portfolio and file as a priority. The Egyptian state set an ambitious national objective to be achieved by the Ministry of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities and its affiliated entities. And I'd like to seize this opportunity to extend the thanks to His Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madbouli for his patronage and the support for this program in the previous years, aiming at providing 2 million housing units, around 1.4 per million have been completed, and the remaining is under construction, along with 150,000 housing units in the coming period. In the framework of such a national program, the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund is one of the implementers of this program, playing a vital role to translate the public policies to a comprehensive housing program to serve the Egyptian citizen on the ground. One of these policies is to enhance the partnership with the private sector. The fund worked with more than 912 private construction companies, providing 4 million job opportunities for citizens and supporting the construction sector as being one of the economic development drivers in Egypt. It is worthy noting that our main partner in this program is the World Bank. The World Bank played a vital role as a strategic partner to us. The technical financial support with $1 billion to the fund. Since the year 2015, the World Bank helped the Egyptian families to own their housing units, so the beneficiaries reached 4 million citizens over the 10 years that contributed to increasing the institutional performance, leading to the sustainability of the program and the promotion of our commitment. We reiterate our full commitment to finalize all the criteria required, including expansion with the partnerships in private sector, as well as effectuating the leasing housing units as part of the mortgage market. Currently, we are studying a recommendation or a proposal from the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund for 2 initiatives to enhance partnerships and promote partnerships with private sector in collaboration with the Urban Communities Authority as one of the main developmental pathways to accelerate the implementation of social housing programs. In this context, the Ministry is working currently to prepare the required land plots in order to start the implementation of the housing units before the final tendering process. We are as well planning to organize workshops with all the implementers and partners in order to be all in line. It is suggested that this initiative will be implemented in new communities, new Abur city and different new cities as a pilot stage, followed by an expansion in new other cities, and increasing areas and spaces for providing affordable housing unit as well as free investment units with percentages and areas appropriate and adequate for the Egyptian citizen. The fund will provide support for the developers by issuing all the ministerial decisions as well as license in coordination with the new communities, new Urban Communities Authority, as well as supporting the financing entities. In 2020, the fund adopted green housing initiatives in the light of all the accelerating climate changes which the world is facing, where the conventional patterns are not effective. Hence, we had to move towards more efficient and sustainable housing models for rationalizing energy and water and decreasing and reducing CO2 emissions to guarantee a better future for our future generations. And currently 70,000 housing units are under construction under the green housing program. Finally, the Ministry of Housing will proceed in implementation of the green housing in the current programs and future programs in collaboration with all partners, and we will keep working on this national plans and expand the housing programs to meet the requirements of our citizens and reflect the commitment of the Egyptian state towards all Egyptian citizens. I'd like to seize this opportunity to thank all the team responsible for this project, the Social Housing Fund and the different ministries, the private companies, all the developers and investors, the development partners, national and international partners. All thanks to all of you. The cooperation between the Egyptian government and the World Bank Group stands as clear evidence of the importance of collaboration with international institutions in serving the Egyptian citizens. Please welcome with me Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation. The floor is yours, Your Excellency. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, Your Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister, Excellencies, the Ministers, partners in development and Egyptian banks, private sector. It gives me great pleasure and honor to be with you today in order to celebrate together 10 years of implementation and the launching of the inclusive housing finance program, which is one of the major programs launched by His Excellency Abdel al-Sisi, the President, based on his belief that citizen is the core of development and the main target of development. Our program, Housing for All Egyptians, is one of the major and flagship programs that reflect the social and economic requirements as one of the safety nets program benefiting the Egyptian citizen and a tool in order to achieve social justice and improve life by providing decent housing for more than 4 million citizens in all governorates, especially low and middle income households, to increase the social cohesion and promote economic inclusive development. It is indeed an unprecedented success where all collaborated for more than 10 years, where the state allocated 200 billion Egyptian pounds from 2014 to 2025, in addition to the affordable finance from the World Bank, one of the biggest multilateral entities, financing more than 47 billion Egyptian pounds. This shows the stand of the Egyptian state in designing and implementation of national programs in collaboration with international institutions. We have been here in this same hall where we collaborated and we celebrated the Upper Egypt Development Program, as well as 10 years of Takaful and Karama with the World Bank as well. And we celebrate always the universal health insurance with the World Bank. This is indeed is an evidence that all the programs that the Egyptian state implement is designed nationally and implemented with our international partners. And we usually say when we achieve national targets, we achieve what is said global public goods, that the services and the global commodities and targets, and it has been witnessed that what we do is evident by the all partners worldwide. So this program again sought to provide affordable houses through 5 main pillars: supporting the mortgage market and to incentivize the funds program, minimizing the incompatibility of the geographic properties, as well as the affordability of the housing units. This program led to increasing financial inclusion as well as development in the mortgage market. We are very pleased to be in collaboration with the Central Bank of Egypt. At the very beginning of this program, I have attended different meetings with this Central Bank of Egypt, and as we witness now the development, this is indeed an evidence of the increase in the size of the mortgage market by 95 million Egyptian pounds by 2025. Distinguished guests, the Egyptian state is keen to achieve justable and affordable housing, as the housing is one of the main pillars of comprehensive development, and that's why the spatial planning and design is one of the main pillars, and we have finalized the second edition of the special development with different ministries and the country targets in the next years, launching a new era where spatial dimension becomes more effective and is a core in the planning of all the partners and the partnerships with the private sector to put all the governorates at the core of the development process. Hence, the government adopts an inclusive, comprehensive pathway in the planning at the national level to be more effective through different indicators of assessment and enhance resources through adopting an equation that would enhance the equitable expenditure. We seek to develop the different investment plans in different governorates to as well enhance the vertical development and to link the investment and the urban plans within one framework to incorporate all the governorates to be part and parcel of the national project, national vision. The ministry have taken different steps in order to improve the investment allocation process based on indicators to assess the investment project to ensure that these are in line with the priorities of the governorates as well as including the green dimension. And I'd like to seize the opportunity to thank Mrs. May and to congratulate the fund for being certified by EDGE. IFC EDGE certificate, and this indeed is in line with the transformation that we are witnessing to include the green construction and green building dimension in different programs. Finally, celebrating 10 years of Housing for All Egyptians program is not a demonstration of the figures and achievements. It's indeed a real embodiment of a successful process that put the citizen at the core of the process to build a capable citizen for a more just community. And I'd like to thank the political will that believed in us and sought to lead to this success. I'd like to thank His Excellency the Prime Minister for his close follow-up and support that we as he looks forward for all new programs. And with the international institutions, we don't only seek financing, but sustainable financing. And this is through diagnostic reports, different donations and grants, as well as technical support given. And I'd like to extend the thanks to the World Bank. Always our partnership with the World Bank leads to successful extended programs. And finally, I'd like to extend my thanks and congratulate Dr. May Abdel Hamid, the CEO of the Social Housing Fund, for such a success. And I thank the team and, of course, His Excellency Sharifi Sherbini, the Minister of Housing, for such a great... Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, for your comprehensive remarks on the Presidential Initiative Housing for All Egyptians. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate together the achievement of the social housing units in being awarded the EDGE Green Building certification from the International Finance Corporation IFC. This is a new international milestone for the fund and further recognition that enhances the global standing of our national and social housing program. Accordingly, I'd like to invite Ms. May Abdel Hamid, Chief Executive Officer of the Social Housing and Mortgage Finance Fund, and Mr. Sheikh Omar Sila, Regional Director of the IFC, to join us on the stage to receive and give the certificate. Thank you. I wish you more and more successes in the field of social housing. Now, I would like to invite His Excellency, the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, to deliver his address. Please, sir, have the floor. In the name of Allah, Your Excellencies, ministers, ladies and gentlemen, allow me in the beginning to welcome you all. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to read my address. When His Excellency, the Minister of Housing, and Mrs. May told me about this celebration ceremony, I was very keen to attend. The reason behind this is that this project is really dear to my heart at the personal level. In the beginning, I would like to thank and greet you on behalf of all the beneficiaries, not only the beneficiaries, but all the Egyptians who are the real owner and the real owner of this project, who is His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Abdel al-Sisi, who has adopted and followed up and is still following up the implementation of this project. I remember when I was the Minister of Housing when we started this program, and this was in 2015 when we made the first announcement, and we had a limited number of units, and we have received like double the number of these units by the applicants. So I told His Excellency the President about this, and he told me anyone who meets and fulfills the requirements should have a unit. For me, as a minister and as a government, implementing such a huge program was a real and drastic change in the approach of the state. However, His Excellency's vision was to think proactively, because simply there would be a demand and there is a need for such a basic and essential need. If it is not fulfilled, then the people are going to sort out this problem by themselves. How? They are going to start build slums and take or seize agricultural lands. This is why we had dozens of meetings with His Excellency the President following up this project and asking in detail about the achievements, and many celebrations and the ceremonies were attended by His Excellency, and he was even keen to deliver the contracts to a number of beneficiaries. And this may be the best response to the question about whether the state was concerned about social justice or not. As a matter of fact, when we see these projects, this is one project of dozens of projects or even hundreds of projects that were implemented by the state over the years. And then people would be wondering, is the citizen capable of feeling the fruits of development or not? And this question really makes me think when we see more than 300,000 units for the places that used to be unsafe, in addition to about 5